My mom is amazing. She barely missed any of my track meets, my softball games, and I think that says a lot about her as a person. I don't know if they knew what kind of family we were, but I think that's why they preyed on me loving my family enough to go meet this person or put myself in danger. My goal in telling my story is to make people aware that this can happen to anybody.
The difference between fraud and scams comes down to, how a criminal is using an identity. So in the case of fraud, the criminal has taken a victim's identity. Now they're trying to use it to get paid by pretending to be you. Whereas with a scam, the identity they're using is not yours, at least not in the beginning.
If you think about the fuel that is needed to commit identity crimes, they need to have data about us, our core identity credentials, foundational identity to pass authentication or to fraud analytics. And all of our data is out there circulating.
They're using that identity to get you to use your identity for them on their behalf under false pretenses.
The day I got the phone call, it was a very slow day. I woke up from a nap because of this phone call. And when I answered, this guy, he said,
"Listen, I have your mom with me."
At first I thought an officer was calling me. Maybe my mom had gotten into an accident.
"Lillian, listen to me carefully. Your mom got into an accident and we have her. You cannot call the police or anyone."
I was just really frantic. I was looking for my shoes, walking around the house aimlessly, trying to just figure out what just happened. I was convinced they had my mom when I heard her voice. It was really scary. I had never heard anything like that before. She said, "I'm okay, I'm in the back of this person's car. I don't know what's gonna happen to me." It was distorted, but it did sound like my mom. Like she was afraid.
"If you hang up, your mom is going to die. So listen to what I have to say."
He said they shoved her into the back of his truck, and when she was back there, bound her hands together, and they wouldn't let me talk to her. It made my heart drop because I was wondering what kind of person I was dealing with.
In the last 3 years, we saw a giant shift from hackers going after businesses, which is partly because the businesses have stepped up their cybersecurity posture, to now going more after U.S. citizens. And the U.S. victims have no idea that they're actually speaking with somebody who's using a translation tool. When victims get text messages, emails, voice calls, or any other message that looks like they inadvertently sent it to the wrong person, is really a tactic to try to get the person to start talking to them.
He asked me to meet him at the gas station. It was relatively close by, about 20 minutes away. So as I was driving, he was asking me questions like what kind of car I was driving. I tried to answer as vaguely as I could without upsetting him. I told him just a broad area, so that made me think that he'd been living here for a while. He told me his age, saying, "I know you're scared, you're in your 20s, I'm 29, I get it."
"This must be hard, but just if you listen to me, everything will work smoothly."
Impersonation scams are really just what they sound like. Someone is pretending to be someone they're not. They tend to borrow trust in some manner, and that's what makes the impersonation very appealing to you, their intended target, because you think, oh, that really is my bank. Oh, that really is the government. Oh, that really is someone I know in my network on social media, even though their account's been taken over and they're not actually the one behind these conversations.
The adversary is coming in and pretending to be, they are impersonating a friend, colleague, family member, business relationship, or some entity that is near and dear to your heart. So it could be a community association. That really tugs at your heart because it's based on your feelings. That's what makes it so tricky and so easy for the adversary to capitalize on impersonation scams. We automatically trust those type of relationships.
And now with things like voice cloning and not just deep, sophisticated deep fakes, but cheap fakes, you can scale it. You can use bots so that you're not necessarily talking to one person at a time. The level of sophistication of these tools is not commensurate with the price.
Technology is playing a huge role in the proliferation of these impersonation scams. I've heard stories of people picking up the phone and thinking it was their mother, and it actually wasn't. They have been able to copy the intonation, the dialect. That is increased sophistication that we haven't seen before. The technology is so sophisticated now that you can't tell a deep fake on a voice call from a real person. And so that's how the adversary is using it. That's why you have to verify.
With these AI tools becoming more advanced and these scammer scripts becoming better and better, we're finally at a point where even a well-educated person who understands how schemes work and pays attention to everything can easily fall victim to these scams.
If your grandchild has posted videos online, right, that are searchable or findable, that is a treasure trove, and they just link it back to you or vice versa to impersonate someone you love. Something like a grandparent scam, that's thousands of dollars. It's a grandma, I got arrested, I need bail money, I need to post $5,000 bail, that sort of thing. And they're going to people who really, who can't afford it.
Why is it taking so long? You're not anywhere near us. You need to hurry up.
He told me to keep him updated on the street signs I was passing, and then he said, "Where are you now?" I said, "I'm at a stoplight." And then he would get upset and say, "Well, you need to hurry. I don't care what you have to do, just get here." The phone had been cutting in and out, and he was getting irritated with me because I couldn't understand him. At one point when I was driving, the man said,
"Why did your sister just text your mom's phone?"
That made me freeze because I'm like, okay, well, they really have her. They have her phone. They know my sister's name. He started asking me for money probably a couple minutes before I pulled into the gas station.
"We can do an exchange, but I'm going to need money. Usually I ask for $20,000, but I know you're young. You don't have that kind of money. Bring $15,000.
I told him I don't have that or anything near it. So I offered what I did have, which was $200, and that was not enough for him. And then after he knew I couldn't really give him anything he was asking for, he started getting more verbally upset. And then my mind was going to, what am I gonna do with my sister for both her and I's safety? They had my mom, they have her phone, they know where to find us most likely.
If you can't get the money, you're going to have to sell your house."
I know how hard my mom worked for this house. I couldn't imagine having to give it up for a person like this.
We have a logical part of our brain that is great for making decisions. Then we have that emotional part of our brain, which is wired to keep us safe. Through that fear, that fight or flight kicks in, and you will react in very certain and predictable ways when you're in that heightened emotional state. That's part of the social engineering. They are looking at things like our public-facing profiles, what kind of information we're putting out there to the world. It takes the very core of our uniqueness as a human being and exploits it.
He told me, get out of my car, check the air in my tires and look natural. I felt like everything was going in slow motion. I was trying to look around to see if I could go to anybody for help, to see if I could see anybody on the phone that could possibly be this man. I didn't see him. He wasn't there. Maybe because I didn't have the money, I didn't think they were going to give my mom back to me. I was on the phone with him the entire time. I asked to talk to my mom again, in which the only thing her voice would say was, "Please save me, I'm scared, Lily. You need to help me." That's when I hung up the phone. I knew my mom would never say anything like that to me. She wouldn't put me in that sort of situation. I immediately tried to call my mom multiple times, and it went straight to voicemail. So then I was texting my mom and telling her to answer. It was an emergency. Then I texted my sister and asked if she could check location of my mom's phone. I was crying at this point, I was shaking. And then my mom finally called me back and she was fine. I was beyond relieved. Looking back on it, I do realize there were certain things that probably could have led me to believe that this was a deepfake of my mom's voice. Before I would talk to her, there would be a long, probably 5-second pause, a beeping noise, and then I would hear her speak. It was so realistic. I thought I was talking to her on the phone. So I wish I would have known that was most likely a sign of this being a deepfake voice, but I didn't at the time.
So identity verification has gotten better, authentication has gotten better. Meanwhile, consumers don't get more sophisticated when it comes to security. Criminals know that. So the bar is much lower there to target the consumer than it is to target a multi-billion-dollar organization with high-end security. In 2 to 3 years, my expectation is that we will have scam detection in many more places. I may not necessarily go by that name, but that's in essence what it'll be. It'll be ways to reassure each of us that what we're doing, who we're talking to, the channel that we're using can be trusted. We'll see that show up like a feature, right? Something that's almost like a good housekeeping seal or something, right? We have X, right? We have scam protection. And that's how you're gonna choose, who you use, right? Who you believe in, who you trust to have important conversations, right? To do your business in. And if you don't have it, it's not a place where you're gonna wanna transact.
It doesn't just happen to older people. It can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're young. It happened to me and it was terrifying.
We see that scammers are adopting AI very, very quickly. Then they start to target them with AI-generated messages. Once they reply to that message, they take them to a fake investment website, and the entire process is managed by AI.
They appear to be making a very large return on investments. They might send $1,000 into the website, and all of a sudden, a week later, they're seeing a 30% profit. The scam has gotten so profitable for the criminals that it's the leading crime that's taking place right now.
According to a recent MasterCard survey, 76% of consumers globally say they have concerns over cybersecurity risk.